Good rising, brethren. This is Big Judah coming to you guys to California. Before I begin, give all praise is the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. I pray the Most High bless this lesson this evening. Gives more knowledge and understanding of the events of the past in order to understand events that are currently happening on the earth. So we get a much better understanding of the things that are soon to come on the earth. The other nations have gone out of their way to write us out of history, to make us seem as if we are inconsequential, that we don't matter, and that we had no part to play in history, and we have no part to play in prophecy. But you're going to see that the Most High's words will always stand. You know, we were always talking about the original people here in the Americas. They always want to talk about the Aztecs, and they always want to talk about the Mayans. And they always want to put their spin on what those people look like, but then they always want to ignore the original people. They want to ignore the Olmecs. And I see that all the time when they're doing like a lot of their documentaries. They're like, well, you know, we're just going to start here talk about the Mayans. But, you know, yeah, we know the Olmecs were here before them, but we're gonna just start with the Mayans. Because they're always trying to control the narrative. See, just like today, you got a mix of people, you know, that are living together. Just like today. I'm sure it was the same way even back then. Because our people make all types of people. All shades, all colors. Right? But they are so hell-bent on not letting you know that. And see, that's why everything with prophecy right now is all about the Ukraine. It's all about Russia. It's all about Ish. And you don't hear much about Ish and that land over there in the, you know, so-called Middle East. I'm like, hey, we're in the end days. These are the final days. This is when, you know, Israel should be out in the forefront, you know, leading people to, you know, the light, being a light to the world. You know, talking about the times of the Gentiles coming to an end, and then the Most High raising up the Israelites, raising up his people at the end. And you don't hear anything from them. So you can't go by titles. You know, look at actions. Look at who the Most High is raising up to bring out the truth. See, they've skipped over the Olmecs because, you know, they look a little too black, so-called black, you know, so they're not part of prophecy. They have nothing to do with prophecy, so let's not even talk about them. But see, in the live yesterday, some of the family members were noticing the faces that were popping up and showing up during the live. And they were talking about from the 52-minute mark to the 54-minute mark, they were talking about the face that showed up that was behind me. Like it was like staring at me the whole time, you know, during that time period. I didn't, you know, I wasn't looking back, but thank the Most High that you guys noticed it. And I wanted to show you this face because when you look at the one that's actually in the sky, it looks just like this Olmec head right here. You take a look over there to the left. You can see those eyes. You see that nose right there. You can see that big full lips right there. Looking like that Olmec head. And see, just because the Gentiles have gone out of their way to hide the original people. Hide how, you know, the part that we have to play in prophecy. The Most High is putting it in the sky. He's putting it right in front of their face. And you can see that face right there. It's very easy to see. Most High showing out right here, in the video. Just showing you who the real people are, who the original people are, and it's that time right now. So, as you're starting to see, like they're all talking about everyone being told to get out of Ukraine. There's a big event coming and this, and that. It's like, why don't you ever talk about why these big events are here now? Why don't you ever talk about why, the Gentiles are going towards that brick wall, at 100 miles an hour? It's all gas, no brakes, and it can't stop this. What's changed? Where, you had the Cuban Missile Crisis not that long ago, and you were able to, cooler heads were able to, to prevail, and you guys were able to go back to life as normal for a little while longer. How come that doesn't seem to be an option anymore? See, it all revolves around us and our punishment. And now it revolves around the Most High giving us back our heritage. As he gives us back our heritage, your control over the narrative, your grip becomes less and less, becomes weaker and weaker. That's why every day, your grip on this society and the things that are going on and the understanding is getting less and less. It's getting weaker and weaker. That tight grip you used to have, you don't have anymore. And I got brother Jerome sending me videos. Like a lot of brothers and sisters sending me a lot of videos, because all of a sudden, you got all these other channels talking about, what's in Antarctica. Oh, it's melting. So now these things are starting to pop up in Antarctica. You got, one of the ladies, you guys all know who she is, talking about Nagas. And, like, wow, where did that come from? Like their subject matter is starting to take a very, weird turn. It's not like business as usual before. Starting to see I saw another video that popped up about UFOs popping up over the bases over in Montana, and controlling the, I think it was on the History Channel, and controlling the nuclear weapons. So you're starting to see, like, a lot of videos talking about, Agartha and the subterranean worlds, and, what's underneath there and things like that. All of a sudden you're starting to see, a lot of Gentiles talking about that. Because, they're used to controlling the narrative. They're used to being able to just come in, like, we might say something, and they'll be like, okay, hold on, little boy. We're going to go ahead and we're going to fix, your understanding, because, your breakdown is all wrong. Let us guide you. Let us guide you, because, your understanding is all wrong. They're trying to do the same thing, but they're not really coming at the information directly. I wanted to say, even Perry Stone came up with something to kind of, let me look up this real fast. I was like, P. Stone looked up for something. I was like, what the heck? Where are they coming up with this stuff? Let me see his last video is. I was just surprised. Oh, he has his last video here. Is this an ancient alien? He put that up today. It just kind of popped up. I'm like, is this an ancient alien? So he's talking about aliens. It's just, like I said, so you're starting to see a lot of the other nations trying to, grab onto this information and then twist it and, put their 2 cents in, which, hey, they're welcome to do. They've been doing it the whole time. See, the problem has been when we did it. Where the problem was when we started to, come up with our own interpretation of things without their approval being needed. Once we started to do that, we don't have to go through just the 80 books. We don't have to go through the books that you have approved. We don't have to just be stuck with the 66 books. Even though we were threatened that we're going to hell and we're doing this, and, you're going to go to hell for that, you're going to go to hell for this, pretty much they're damning us to hell. But as you can see now, like you said, they have no understanding about absolutely anything. So they can't send you to hell anyways. They don't have that type of clout with the Most High. They don't have that understanding. They've had to dummy everything down by hiding books, hiding information, because it was never given to them, and the understanding was never given to them, and the spirit was never given to them to understand it. So that we wouldn't realize that they didn't have that kind of understanding, they just said, "Oh, we don't accept those books. Those books, if you read those books, you're going to go to hell. If you try to interpret that information, you're going to go to hell." That's where the fear all comes from. But as you can see right here in this picture, you see the picture of what the entity that popped up during the video, looking like us, looking like our brothers here, the Olmecs. And just because they tried to hide, our brothers and, our ancestors, it doesn't matter if they're trying to hide it. That's what's going to be showing up. Just because you've hidden them, you want to make it sound like they're all monsters and they're all horrible, they're all ugly, they're these ugly things and whatever else. That's okay. This is what's going to be showing up. There's always talking about how people are going to be just shocked. Yeah, I'd be shocked too, because the so-called black man, a bunch of black men and these UFOs is not what that's not what you're anticipating. That's not what you're anticipating. And that's what it talks about even in the scriptures, how you're going to be shocked. Your fathers have inherited lies. These are the sons and daughters of the Most High, the ones that we've had in derision, the ones we called in Proverbs, everything else. Yep. Like I said, so you've taken our history and you've just buried us and whatever else, but that's okay, because the Most High just showed you. Look at what's in the sky. Look at what's checking us out right here. Look at what's showing up behind the scenes right here. Just let us know that, hey, I'm with you. I'm here. I got your back. I'm with you. I've always been here. I've always been here to protect you. I've always been waiting for you to come back to me. That's an absolutely amazing time that we're living in. Now, I want to give you guys the opportunity. I told you guys I would get you guys these pictures so you can check them out real fast, okay? I did not have volume 1. I thought I did have volume 1, but I did not have volume 1. So I actually went ahead and found it yesterday and purchased it. So hopefully, it makes its way over here. I think it's already in the mail. So let's hope it gets here fine, and we'll be getting some more information. But I went ahead and took some pictures for you so you guys can pause it and read it and check this information on your own, okay? About the Shambhali, okay, Brahma, and Anu Melchizedek races of inner earth, right there. The races of the inner earth. And so, like I said, a lot of these people that are in these Christian religions, I said they've really, backed themselves up into a corner, because it's kind of hard to say, like, all of a sudden now start getting into these other books and this information when you've been the ones fighting it this whole time. When you've been the ones that have been, the roadblocks into looking into these other books the whole time. Now, all of a sudden, it's going to be very difficult for you to, flip the script and be like, oh, well, yeah, I've been telling you don't read this information, but you know what? I'm going to break it all down for you now. Yeah, okay. Like anybody's going to be listening to you guys now. Here's the next one right here. The progression of major events and the Atlantean conspiracy. So they're talking about, the Earth is only 6,000 years old, and that's all the history and whatever else. And this stuff is going back way further. But so you can go ahead and read it and do some research as well, okay? About all these wars and all these other interactions and everything else. Like I said, a lot of things have been happening. A lot of things have been happening that we have not been, given this information and this understanding. And I saw a little clip someone had put up. There was a little clip from a Black Adam, and I don't know if you guys saw it, but it was a clip where the one brother, I guess, was supposed to be fighting against Black Adam, was talking to some one of the women, whatever else, and And she was saying something about Black Adam, and he's like, you don't understand like who he really is. And she's like, and you do? And he's like, yes. We've had, these ancient writings, ancient tablets that we've kept hidden that, explains, that through, I think, his rage, he was able to destroy a whole civilization. And that's just confirmation that they've been hiding all these ancient tablets and all this information, and we have not been privy to any of this information. But they know. That's just, they've seen it, they read it, they know what's coming. But it's still got the vast majority of the world, still believing in that rapture and still concentrating on, white Jesus coming to save you. While they got all these other tablets that they haven't even, let you see. And you're still trusting them all the way till now. There's some more information right there. About the Hyksos. I've heard about the Hyksos being the Israelites, the Hebrews. Like I said, they go into all this other stuff right now. Like I said, a lot of information. And we already know, like I said, it's not dealing with these other 8 nations. I said, there's other things going on with our said, our people. I said, but we've been around a long time. I said, there's been other groups. There's been other groups as well that have been, hey, man, there was probably millions and millions of people. It wasn't just Hebrews. So there's other nations too. I said, so we've been, interacting with each other and everything else. It's just recently, these other nations have given us these names, and we act like that's what we've always been. We don't even get a name. We just get a color. We're just black, and they're white. And then, you got Mexicans, right? You got Americans. You got British. You got, Africans. And you got Ethiopians. And you got South Africans. And you got Indians from India. I said, but many of these names are all pretty relatively new. That's not what these people were calling themselves. So when these records are being written, they didn't know anything about the names and the proverbs that of these people that are here today. And that's why it's crazy to sit here and listen to people who think that they know something, but they refuse to look into any other information, and still think the prophecy is revolving around Russia, the people that are in those lands right now. But we know that the original Russians, people that were there, look like us. So we're much closer to when these records were being written. We were the ones in the lands. So therefore, it was talking about us, not the ones that are there today. So I figured I would kind of give you a little opportunity to take a look at some of this information and do some research. And, we'll definitely be getting into some more. I know it was kind of difficult to see the pictures yesterday. So I wanted to make sure I gave you the opportunity to kind of read them for yourself. All praise, it's the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is Holy Spirit? Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. Shalom, family.